Hi there, and it's Fitton here again from Genius Gardens. Today I'm going to be talking about safety in the garden with your toddlers and little ones. I'm just going to run through a few points that may sound strikingly obvious, but it's easy to forget them when you've got so many other things to think about, as I'm sure you have. First of all, of course, is always water is everybody's concern. Children can drown in just 3 centimetres of water, so it's very important that you are aware of any containers that may be just lying around, buckets or containers. Sometimes these little swimming pools or children's baths that people use for putting sand in. They're these little pools that they use that fold into 2 halves. You have 1 half sand and 1 half water. If they're just left out in the rain, you're forgetting about them completely, because they're usually down the side of the shed or at the bottom of the garden. Just a good habit to get into is to turn them upside down before you go in, and then it's just done, it's forgotten. It's just a really good habit to get into. Another good habit to get into is tools. Don't ever put them just down. It's something we all do. It's not just mums, we all do it. You put down the secateurs or the trowel or what have you, wherever you happen to be when the phone rings. But instead of doing that, just get yourself into a different habit. Pick it up, put it in the in a container that you use that's above a certain height, or take it indoors with you as you go in. You know the way you go on to your husband about put your pants in the bin? It's a new habit to get into. So another one is, of course, ladders, pieces of wood with rusty nails, things like that in them, often down the side of the shed. Children love little spaces like down the side of the shed. That's their fantasy land. So be careful what you put down there. Another one that people often forget is when they stand things against walls, that they're so easily knocked over by a child. They can come down on their head. They can be quite serious pieces of timber. They can be quite small, but either way, just always lay something down, and bear in mind that wherever you put things down, they are likely to find them. So rusty nails especially, of course, with tetanus, you've got to be very careful with that. Finally, obviously, chemicals, pesticides, insecticides, people do get in the habit of putting those away, but do you always put them away, and are all of them put away somewhere safe? Again, containers that are out of the reach of children, it's very important that they're out of the reach of them, preferably indoors, because also it makes them less effective, because if the frost has been on them, they may not even work. It's something people don't think about. And finally, just make sure that they always wash their hands. Get them into a new habit of washing their hands when they come in, whenever they've been in the garden. But tell them why. Tell them, you know, there are good bacteria and bad bacteria. And as they hear that a few times, as they go from toddler into preschool, they'll want to know more about bacteria. And it's actually a really fascinating subject for children, especially when they do get into having water play. So just bear in mind, tell them why they've got to wash their hands every time, and just get them into that new routine. But I'm sure you're going to have great fun through the summer, so don't be so worried about it. I'm sure it'll all be just fine, and we'll all have, hopefully, a good summer this year as well. Thank you.